without wasting any further minute, uh, thank you everyone for joining us for this session today, especially taking out an hour on a weekend. And thank you, sir, so much for agreeing to take the session for us. Uh, for those who don't know me, I am Divya Agarwal, and this is my co-host Ritu Ranjan, and I work with the marketing team at Quest.
Good
Uh,
morning, everyone. So this is Ritu. I handle HTT program in Quest. So basically, this webinar we are going to conduct for the people who are interested in ITIL. So we have Mr. Dinesh who will be talking about the ITIL. If you have any queries, any doubt, so this is the best platform actually. Yeah, Divya, over to you, please.
Thank you. Uh, Let me give a short introduction about Mr. Dinesh. Mr. Dinesh has overall 19 plus year of experience in service delivery, project management and technical support, and 8 plus years of experience in IDIL, Agile, PMP, CSM and so on. He has conducted overall more than 200 training sessions conducted across globe. Uh, Not only this, he has also conducted 140 plus training sessions of ITL Foundation globally, followed by 80 plus ITIL intermediate training sessions globally, 60 plus Prince 2 sessions across India, 30 plus data analytics and Tableau sessions. Mr. Dinesh has also worked with some US clients like Duke Energy, Disney, Dairy Queen, DHL, Perkins, Assurant, and so on and so forth. Um, Thank you once again, sir, for joining us today. Over to you.
Hey, no problem. Thank you. Guys, just to hearing out the introduction Divya has given, nothing proud about it, but I want to give you a confidence that you will
இது
be in
ஏஎம்சி
right.
பேர்ல பண்ணது தானே?
I'm so sorry to cut you, sir. One more request to all our audiences. Could you could we please keep ourselves on mute when sir is talking? And when you have a question, you can raise your hand. Ritu and I will coordinate with you.
Hey,
Please
thank you, guys.
continue, sir.
Okay, just I was saying that nothing proud about all those. Yes, one confidence that I wanted to give you at this point is you're at right hands. I'm being put on almost 26, 27 year experience overall. I'm a infra guy. I'm technically a Microsoft, Cisco, and dealing certified. And when it comes to management, ITSM, I'm certified on both service management and project management. Today, I am being invited to give the glimpse on ITSM, the importance of ITSM. Okay. So, I will take a few minutes to pass through on what ITL is all about, why we want to have that, how it will help us in our career or rather in our services. Then I will take a buzz and take some questions if you guys have. And don't wait till the end of the session. As and when you have, you can please speak out and get the things clarified as and when it's required. The discussions will be better than the way that I speak here. So I would recommend everybody, even if it's a silly, queries, we don't mind. This is a platform there where you can get clarified yourself. ITIL, as we all know, it is from British. When I say it is from British, they have been ruled the world at one point of the time, and they know the cultures of all the countries, which help them to understand how this ITSM process can be regularized or generalized. When I say generalized, those were the days when there is no IT. Still, British being a bigger country, they had a lot of projects running globally, which helped them to make sure how service management can be put across. When I say service management, it's all about our skill sets to manage the services. When I say services, we need to deliver value to the customer. Are you managing infrastructure? You need to manage them. Your turn is to give some consultation. You need to give better consultation. whatever work we do, we need to work in such a way by understanding the requirements of the customer, where it will give value to them. So that's where about service and service management. When it comes to IT service management, it's all about, we talk about on IT services, which and where we use all IT related infrastructure over there. To manage these, they came out with some kind of best practice called ITSM. IT means information technology. IL means infrastructure library. That means we manage the IT infrastructure that required for our services to be delivered to the customer. In turn, it should be benefited to their business. That is the main logic about it. When I stretch on IT to the extent, there are a lot of non-IT things which somebody has to manage, without which the services will not happen. Definitely, we'll have a parallel services called facility management, and they handle the non-IT requirements for all the service managements. Now, when I say service management through ITIL, it is very popularly known as ITSM, service management. Right. Coming back to ITIL structure, there is no prerequisite. Anybody who is interested in delivering services to the customer can be a part of it. And believe me, today, this certification is the minimum one can possess. Okay. So when I say one has to possess, believe me, the students who are all coming out of MBA and BE graduates, they are doing this certification as an investment. So this is very important to give a confidence to the customer that the team with whom they are working, they know what's about ITIL, or rather they know what's about service management is all about. Now, getting into the course of this, what all that we learn, why we learn this, what is that ITIL recommends? As I said, ITIL is a best practice, never a standard. When I say best practice, ITIL can recommend you 100 good things to be managed, and we don't mandate anything on that. Whichever is suitable to your business, whichever is suitable to your customer, you can pick about it. And even one good process that you adopt, you can call yourself as a ITIL practitioner. This is the beauty about this. Why we say best practice, why not standard is, when I say standard, you need to follow everything. For example, ISO standard, IOS. ISO standard means the norms set by ISO, International Organization of Standards. Everything has to be followed 100%. Then only it will be certified. When it comes to best practice, you can choose and pick whichever is suited for you. Now, what we have on the slide, we'll talk about what kind of people it is being recommended. And nevertheless, not limited to this, anybody for that matter who has interest in services has to be taken up this as a basic. Can you go one slide back, please? Okay, great. Now, coming back to ITIL, what is the takeaway for us? Why we need to understand ITIL? Why we need to put ITIL is in practice? ITIL has the basic practical and no nonsense concepts. When I say practical, for the heck of theoretical benefit, they don't set. They take the opinion from the people like you and me who are working on the floor, take the reality dependencies and set the norms. When I say no nonsense, the things are never be set as an impossible factors. Whatever they recommend, these are all easily doable and adoptable. It's only the change in interest what we should adopt. We need to do something, we need to do this, we need to improve that, how to find the pain factors, what is the gap between the agreed levels and your achievements. These are the things we need to understand and start adopting ITIL. Coming back to the teams at the ground level, practitioners, what they take away from here. ITL recommends some principles. What is that you need to follow being a service guy? It's very important because when I say services, it is a BAU, business as usual. It's a very tidy and laborious work. When I say laborious, it's not that I'm been carrying stones to the hill. Same customers, same kind of issues, same kind of tickets. Every day you start the day, you have some tickets. Few are, familiar tickets. Few customers are repeated customers who has been asking for the service. Then what happens? Our verge of resolving issues will diminish. Hence, ITL saw all these factors and came out with some recommendations called principles. They came out with 7 principles. There are, I can speak out those, but when you join the course, it will be good. There is something called, you need to be a proactive. What kind of proactiveness you need to have? We need to look at the options to be get automated, how to make use effectively the infrastructure what you have. And instead of doing at once, we need to do repeatedly. That means every time when you get a similar issues, we need to follow the similar process. That's where we have some documentations done, your KB articles, known in a database, SOPs. These are the handshaking factors there. Coming back to the engagement of customer and service provider, we have a lot of agreements. We agree on SLAs, OLAs, underpinning contracts, few of these agreemental obligations. On and above, there are 4 important factors which will be dependent on our services. If the manager is good, services will not be perfect. If the workforce is good, will not be perfect. Everybody called an organization. When I say organization, not an entire company, the entire team structure of our services, right from delivery managers to practitioners like service managers, leads, seniors, juniors, whatever. All this has to handshake by understanding their capabilities and their involvement with us. That's where we have some roles and responsibilities very clearly mentioned, and we need to follow about it. When it comes to 4 dimensions, we call pillars of service management. These are the 4 important variants. People. When I say people, it's a quality and the quantity of the people. We need to be very clear what kind of people that we should have. How many seniors, how many juniors, how many freshers, how many database administrators. On and above, what will be the volumes of them? You want to cover up 24/7 service, 5/8, 7/8. Depending on that, you need to have the minimum count on the resources and the skill sets. Second one, process. First mistake what we do is always being a service engineers, giving a technical solution is the no. Technical solution what we give to the customers is a part of our service. There is something called process management. We need to provide the services and follow the right process. What questions we can ask customer, what topics we should not talk, how ticket has to be updated. If you don't update the ticket correctly, your trends will not be good. Your improvement programs will not be better because your basic data is only ticket resolution. So that's where we need to agree to the process and we to make sure follow those processes. Third one will be products. When I say products, technology. What technology to be used? A solution can be given by multiple technologies put in use, but we need to be very clear what is that customer wants and why. Accordingly, we need to upskill ourselves and service them. And the last one is partners. By chance, if you have multi-vendor environment where you will service few things, some other organization does some other work, both has to undergo handshake. This will be the basic core of the ITSM. Okay. Any questions till then? I know you guys are come from different verticals, different levels, different streams, different kind of services. Probably I heard you guys are from BFSI environment, or if you somebody from manufacturing, aviation will make sense. No problems. Any questions? I'll take a bus for a moment.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Sir, actually, I'm joined the late, so please can you review again?
Yeah, we will do that as a wrap up. No worries. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Sir, because I am just joined now.
No problem. I'll give the glimpse at the end.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. We'll be sharing the recordings as well if you need it.
Okay, that should
Okay.
be better. Well and good. Guys, anybody? Any questions? Please take this time. See, the questions need not to be on the subject. Questions can be from your work culture. Sir, I'm doing this process. I'm having this kind of issues. Is there anything ITL can recommend me? Being a technical role, being a people management role, customer relationship role, quality roles. No questions? Okay.
Hi, sir. Saurabh here.
Hey,
I
go
have a
ahead.
question.
Yeah, please.
So, I understood, the couple of slides that you just mentioned in terms of theory. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand right now is I am currently into a vendor management come procurement role.
Yeah.
So, could you help me, understand how it will help in, upskilling myself in the current role?
Yeah, please. See, when you say you are from a vendor management or a procurement role, probably your KPIs are something different than a service industry, guys. When I say KPIs for you is you need to choose the better vendor. You need to choose the best price that you can negotiate. These are the few skill sets play a basic role that nobody can avoid because it's the nature of your role. On and above, what ITSM can recommend you is it will let you know the process by which you can integrate multiple vendors and what kind of questionnaires that you need to take it up so that you can choose one among the multiple vendors, and what will be the phase of negotiations. When I say phase of negotiations, take a small example. You wanted to procure 10 laptops to the project or a service which is headed by me. When you go to a market, look at the, when I say go to market means multiple vendors you approach, you have a lot of procedures, sealed quotations or open quotations, vendor conference, these things. When you have multiple choices to pick it up, how to choose the best suit for you? That's the basic meat that a vendor management can give for an ITSM guys. When I say ITSM guys, I usually take as a service guys. What we need to do, we need to take the inputs from the procurement project team. Hey, you require 10 laptops. What's your configuration? Because I am not a techie. Do you have any choice on the models? When I say choice, laptop is a whole number to understand. You have 100 brands, 100 models. Your KPI is to pick up the laptops at the lesser cost, whichever best suited. But the fact remains is the suitability comes from the project team. Hence, we have some processes discussed, how you can understand the requirements, how you can take the inputs from the project team. There is something called, we are all familiar with SLA, service level agreements.
Hello.
There is on and above, there is something called service level requirements, SLR. So we will take up those and then mature enough into the system and see
I
what
can't
best
hear
I
you.
can procure it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Makes
Thank you.
sense?
That answers my question.
Hey,
Yes,
So
absolutely.
your audio
Thank
is
you so
heard
much.
very slow, sir.
you mean to say my audio?
Yeah.
The
How
audio is very clear. Please check your device only.
Okay.
Audio is clear only. No issue.
Yeah. See, what happens when you have more people, it's all depends on the last mile of the each individual. If somebody is really feeling a problem in the audio, I would request them to just check out and re-log in. That will be the better choice. Okay, great. Any other questions, guys? Anybody from service line already who is delivering services to the customer and you're struggling to achieve SLAs, you're struggling to manage the people? Okay. Yeah, if no questions, let's go to the next slide and see what we have here. Yeah, please.
Hello. Hello. Hi, sir. Good morning.
Hey,
This is Renuka from Service Desk.
okay.
Thanks for giving this opportunity to taking over. So my question is about as a service desk engineer, how important role is this regarding this ITIL?
Wow, it's a very good question. I'll tell you, you will be the backbone of this. Service desk is a single point of contact for all the services, whether it's a ease of service. Can I request somebody who is not muted to be muted, please? Okay.
We'd request everyone to please mute your mic. Thank you. Please continue, sir.
Yeah. Service desk play a very important role, my friend. They are the single point to the customer. When I say single point, that will be the front end when customer comes for a service request. When I say service request, not the nature of the ticket, I'm talking about the requirement on the services. Whether it is a easy request, which can be handled by service desk itself, or which can be handled by your L1, L2, L3 guys, where these resolver teams will not be getting in touch with the customer in a direct way. They will always pass through with a service desk. And I'll tell you, service desk is a very important and crucial service line for the entire service industry, because you guys heard about some measurements called FTR, first time resolution. What does it mean is, when customer comes with a request and walk away with the answers or walk away with the solution without any conversations, and that percentage has to be hit something around 75% of the tickets. That means 100 tickets customer comes from to the service desk will have an ability to resolve almost 75%. How? The technical teams has to provide some documents to them, SOPs to them, and the minimum required resolution times that service desk can provide. And it's a growth for service desk executives as well. It doesn't mean that just talking to the customer, making sure allotting a ticket will be their role. They also should have their growth. They come up with service desk to a L1 level, L1 works together, come to L2 level. That's the hierarchy that it will go. But service desk, as you say, as you request, as you asked, it's a very key portion, and it's very important to be knowing about ITS. Definitely, yes. Make sense?
Yes, I understood. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, Chakravarti, you go ahead. Chakravarti, you have any queries? You lifted your hand.
Not an issue. No, not an issue, sir. We are not.
Oh, it's you
She
only.
asked it, she
Excellent.
asked.
Yes, yes.
No problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anybody else, guys? Okay. Anybody from quality side? When I say quality, not only measuring the parameters and also recommending improvements. See, quality is of two types: quality assurance and quality control. One is to improve, and other one is to make sure the running process is in place. So that also will cover up here if you guys from quality or so. Yeah, Divya, can you go to the next slide if you are the one who's running it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. On a certification part, when I say certification, it is just a document. Will tell the stakeholders that you are aware, you are known about all the best practices that ITL recommends, and you will be the choice in implementing those as a stakeholder. So that's a confidence it gives, nothing more than that. Here also we have a growth like our academics, like how you have undergraduate, graduate, and masters. Here also we have something called ITL Foundation, ITL Expert, and ITL Masters. So what we are talking about today is for foundation. It's you can think that it's the first stage that we wanted to learn about. Once we are okay with that, then we choose our streams. For example, I'm purely a delivery guy. I will talk about deliverables into the second level. I'm a business relationship manager or business relationship coordinator. So I wanted to grow towards business growth or making sure the existing business is in place in a healthy. You have a different stream. Or you are a purely an architect, a technical architect, not mere interest towards to the services, but you will support services. Then there is something called design modules where you can get mastered yourself into the design. So once you choose these of your interest or you choose all of this, you eligible for a master's. So master's is something like your PhD where you need to write a white paper on service management. When I say white paper, you need to come out with some principles. We need to come out with recommendations which ITL takes and evaluates and gives some scoring on that basis, which you become master. Basically, why we do all this program is we never know what's the subject is all about. We never know what is that we wanted to recommend you. Hence, we will hear out from you first. Hey, what you guys gaps, what's getting impossible, what's because customer expectation is too high, unexpected. How much ever best work you do, they will not be happy anytime. So in that way, how do you balance this? By understanding the requirement from you, we talk to the experts, again, like you and me, those who are there in the industry, what the best practice that they are following, what is their success rates, and we bring that back to the subject. That is what it's all about ITL here, right? That means ITL is nothing categorized by them. It is all given by a professionals like you and me as a best practice. They do a consolidation of all the comments and the experiences and come out with a subject by which best practice will be taught to the people who are in the stream. Good. So when you look at these four pinpoints, this we are talking about what is that we are going to cover when you have a session done. Okay, go to next slide, please. Okay. These are the unit wise that we categorize to cover up. Usually it will be a 16 hours of program, maybe 2 full days or 4 half days, depending on the work culture. That I think Quest will take a call and discuss with you guys. Other guiding principles, 4 dimensions, value systems. When I say value systems, it's a different name come up for a process. Process means the set of activities that we do to accomplish some result. But when we say those results are achieved, we analyze and see, is it worth doing so many steps to achieve that result? So we fine tune and take out some unwanted steps that we require to be followed. That cleanup process is called value stream. So when I say value stream, for example, the process of taking leave in your organization. There will be a portal, you go and request the dates which you want to take leave on your personal requirements, and it will flow to your boss. Your boss approves, then it will go to HR for your calculations of your email, leaves left out or loss of pay or what category of leave and things like that. In the entire episode of this, your intention is to take a comfortable leave, and office has decided this can be achieved by a process of some portal, some approvals. This we cannot have a control because that's a governance which comes from the organization. When I say governance, it is the mandatory rules and regulations one has to follow as long as you're part and parcel of that organization. Today, if you look at, some of them are working from home. Some organizations say you need to be back to office. Some are hybrid. You cannot compare. The next company is given hybrid. Why can't you also give an hybrid to me? You have been calling me to office on mandatory. No, that is individual organizational governance. They do on their requirements and their strengths. And one has to be follow that. While following this, we will see what value add we can give while doing. For example, all these days we are working from home and still we manage the services. That's the ultimate. Now, what is that reason office is calling you back? Is it by a service flow? Is it by a mandatory decisions? Is it by a call from the customer? Earlier, customers were also working from home, hence you have been allowed. Now, customers are back to office. They wanted you guys to sit in their area of data centers and work. That's a security norms. Nothing wrong in that. It doesn't mean that your services are not handful. It means that you are being asked to follow some procedures and rules and regulations. That's about value streams. And of course, on the practices, we have, when I say practice, those all the service lines that we do, like your incident management, change management, problem, event management, your release management, deployment management. These are the things. We have about 34 processes which been recategorized here. You can even follow one process and yourself you can call as an ITIL expert. That should not be a challenge. But we cannot study all 34 at any point of time. Hence, what we'll do, we will pick up 34 as a glance, and we might pick 3 or 4 depending on your interest and your work requirement, and we can discuss about it. Yeah, next question, next slide, please. Go ahead. This is what I was explaining, that 4 dimensions of the service: people, process, product, partners. And these are the main variants. That means if you have less people and highly skilled available people, still you cannot manage. Imagine you plan 10 people to be there on the floor to manage the load of the customer. By chance, if you get a highly trustable and workaholic engineers and you land up having only 8, still you cannot manage completely. So the quality and quantity both matters there. If you give a little importance there, on and above, there is something called political factor, economic factor, social factor, technical factor, legal factor, and environmental factor. We call it as PISTLE, P-I-S-T-L-E, PISTLE effect. What it says is, whether you have done a great job or customers are receiving a great job has a control. If you have done some mistakes, you can rectify yourself. If customer has some expectations, you can improve your expectations. But on and above, even after doing everything well, these are the 6 areas which will have an effect on your services, but you cannot control. For example, take one or two examples. Economical effect. Imagine you being an offshore company from India, you have been working to a Sri Lankan customers. Today, entire country has been stuck on the economical factor. They've lost. Even after you delivering the better service, you may not get your pay, or rather you may not extend your business because the customers are not in the safe hands because of the economical factors. You might lose business, you might lose some services, but it is not by your control loss. It is by nature, where one cannot have a control. We need to be with it. That's called, risk. So risk also, there are 2 types: positive risk and negative risk. Positive risk is called opportunity. Negative risk is called threat. So when country is in economical crisis, it's a threat for you to do a business there, even though you have your capabilities. So what we are trying to tell is, the 4 pillars has a control, we can manage, and we will teach you how to manage. But when it comes to the other 6 management or rather controls called PISTLE, no one can do something. It thanks to the act of nature. Okay, so next, value system. As I said, it's a process. When I say process, some activities that we will do to convert the inputs into an output as a generic discussion. When I say inputs, your ticket request is your input. whether it's easy ticket, difficult ticket, P1 ticket, P4 ticket, it's a global failure, it's an individual failure. All requests come you as a ticket. Whatever work you do, it has to go as a value to the customer as an output. What does it mean? Resolving a ticket, giving a solution is the merely a work for you. But we need to understand how tamely that we need to do this, what time that we need to. See, we have a factor called outcome on output. Output is all about what work has been given to be delivered, and outcome is all about delivering the work is obvious, but that needs to be delivered as suitable to the customer's requirement. Timely solutions. That will come here as a streams. What we will do, we will set some governance which will help them to be understandable. When I say governance, how you categorize the ticket, whether it's a P1 or P2, P3, P4, depending on impact and urgency. How do you understand how important is this? What will be the effect of this? For that, we'll put some governance. And on that governance, we will decide the priorities. Practices, as I said, 34 practices. Continual improvement, very important. You might think that I put on 10 years experience in this industry. What is that value add additionally you are giving because you are 10 years experience when you compare to a 1 year experience guy? Your technical skill, no doubt, and it's obvious, and it is not a credit to you. On and above, what is that customer are getting? Are you reducing the time taken earlier was 100 minutes, now you do it in 90 minutes? Earlier you know 3 technologies, now you know 4 technologies. Earlier you need to understand the ticket and work, now on the gleam you can complete the ticket. This progress has to be there. If you have an individual growth, as a team, as a group, we will give better results to the customer, which will call for the continuation of your business. So what I'm trying to tend here in this value stream is, any inputs, we do a lot of activities, setting governance, improvements, bringing in, putting into the right practices, and we will give an output that will be a value driven to the customer. Value driven is measured on outcome, not the output. In our basic language, imagine you have a SLA of 3 hours and all the tickets you resolve in 2.5 hours. Doesn't make difference that you have done your fantastic job. No, it's only the output that you are given. On those 2.5 hours ticket closures, how many went on to the useful to the customer? That is where we measure customer satisfaction survey, CSAT surveys. Many times you do a great work as technically, but the customer will jump at you saying that, hey, I am not happy the time that you are taken. Because he don't know technical requirements. We know better. But he knows only thing is when he is in trouble, how quick you give him a solution. Whether you struggle by technology, you struggle by process, it's a way to be done. He doesn't know. He wants only what best time that you can deliver. That is where all this outcome matters. This study we will do in value systems. Okay, good. Next. Okay. Value chain. This is the very integral part. If you look at this picture, you will know end to end how do you manage the services. If any ticket comes, what we will do in the beginning, we will pick up the definition there, what is been given, what is the error shot that they're given, what is that error message, what is the problem they're facing, and we interact with them, engage with them. Hey, is it happening only for you, for your colleagues? Whatever you want. Or if there is any short of information that they gave, you will go back and say, can I recreate the scenario to see? So all these are called engage. Once you engage and understand the requirement, you plan how this needs to be resolved, whether this need to be given to the different team or your team, yourself has to take or juniors can take. It's a call on the capabilities and requirements. Then start working on that in a 3 phases. One is obtain and build. What is obtain and build means? Once you understand the requirement, you will make sure all the resources are in place. It may be human resources, it may be non-human resources, like access to the right database, access to the right servers, uptime of the service, uptime of the servers. These are the things that we'll check. Then we design and transition. When I say design and transition, we will see the process what customer has been following is in line with the design. When I say design, you need not to be techie enough to know. Best understanding is that to see is there any changes occurred in the latest duration which went ununderstandable to the customer. Then we will start deliver and support. When I say deliver, make sure all the requirements from the customer should be addressed as agreed. And support means our basic responsibility is to keep the uptime of the service. When I pay uptime, imagine your work, you are giving 24/7 service. Over the night shift, you don't get much calls because it's a slog time. Still, we need to make sure at least minimum, I cannot say 1, 2, 3, depending on the size of the project. Minimum people should be available and customers should feel, hey, my team is available for me at any point of time. That's called support. It is not that ticket came, I accepted, I resolved. No. Giving a confidence to the customer, hey, I am there for your service. Take my time. Ask me what you want. I will always be for you to better your business by doing some value add from my work. Okay, so these are the 3 important factors which we will speak in detail when we come to the course. Yes, next slide, please. Yeah. These are the 7 principles which we talk. If you look at those principles, these are all very easy to adopt. Probably we are not familiar, hence it's not been adopted. Start where you are. Focus on value. Start where you are. How many times when you get moved from one project to other project, you felt difficulties? How many times you moved from your OS? For example, earlier you are using Windows NT, then you went to Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 12. Today we are at 16. 2020 is going to come. How many times you felt discomfort when we move from one version to other version? Because as a human nature, we say no to the new things because we are comfortable with the old things. When I'm doing my work best on a Windows 8 machine, why I should go and take a risk of learning Windows 10? That is the human mentality. Here, this one of the greatest principle, what we want to adopt here is start where you are means, don't say no to change, welcome the change. But you analyze and see how much you know about the new. You. But being in IT industry, you should be always open for the new things. How? If you don't know 95%, we need to take some trainings. It's an organization's responsibility. Imagine you move from one role to other role. All this time you are doing some service desk activity. Now you will be pushed to L1 or major incident management activity. You cannot say, no, I don't know how to do it. Please, I don't want to work. No, organization feels that you need to be there for some reason. If you don't know, please speak out how much you know instead of how much you don't know. Even if you know 5%, you tell, hey, only I know this about this. Then they will give you documents, they will give you trainings, they will give you some time for you to mature enough. They will shadow you, they will done some KTs, and they will make sure whatever required to you will be provided and take your services. Before that, what we will do, always, we will say no. Hey, no, I am comfortable in this project. I am comfortable in this role. I don't want to move. Nothing wrong with you or somebody. It's in human nature. But this is one principle that we recommend and highlight you that you should not stick to that, especially in IT industry, because technology is evolving, customer expectations are getting higher, your technology is getting complex. You cannot be saying that I learned this, I will work only on this. No. So likewise, these are the 7 principles that we work about. It's very interesting and very helpful for everybody's growth. Not only here in this industry or in this organization, as you guys grow, you will understand how important is these principles that you're supposed to follow. Principles is nothing but ethics. You keep a trust on that and follow it. If you don't like it or if you don't have a trust, don't do it. Simple. Okay, next slide, please.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
human nature and also called as a comfort zone.
Sorry?
You told no, is a human nature
Yes.
and also called as a comfort zone.
Exactly. When you are in comfort zone, you survive, you don't grow. It's an law of nature. You need to get into the competitive world, then only you will grow. Comfort zone will allow you to survive, no doubt. If you say, hey, I'm happy doing this job, you will be happy, but you never go out of it. That's fair. I'm not saying you that you at the age you every time you need to go to the competitors. No, but you need to choose which is suitable to you and keep having the nature saying no to the growth. That's where it is. Very important. Hey, nice point. Okay. So these are the practices that we spoke. These few among 34 processes that we will highlight. And definitely, as I said, all this cannot be learned. But yes, depending on your interest, depending on your guys coming from any of these verticals, I can speak out to any extent. But all these are, crucial for our services. See, for example, security management, your Windows patching cycle, your setting up your configuring, getting the gateways and routers configured, blocking off all the unwanted ports by which you might get security hazards. Those are the technical studies. But here we don't talk about anything on the technology. We will talk about managing technology. Why? ITSM is all about managing services, not learning services. If you agree to manage a database management as a service, doesn't mean that if you know only database management, you can survive. No. Having the technical knowledge by you or your team is a must, but how do you adopt that? How do you make sure your services deliver in a better way to customer is very important. And that is what we touch base here. If you ask me here, incident management, problem management, change control, service desk, release management, supplier management has one of our friend here, probably how vendors managed and things like this, all this covered up here. And you'll have a very interactive session only when you guys open up your requirements. Even in the session, not only today, even when you do our classes, you need to come back with your open questions. Take time in taking my expertise as your advice. I don't want you to adopt, at least hear out from me, because I come up not only knowledgeable on the subject, but also come up with a huge industry experience. I have grown from a service engineer to vice president infrastructure European markets. Today, I will take these sessions just as a motto to make sure it's one of the service that youngsters in IT should get from me. That's where I am. It's again nothing big or proud here, but yes, just to give you confidence, you guys ask questions, take the reply on that. Okay, good. Last slide, I think, Divya. Yes. Once you study all this, there is something that you need to get the certification done. For this, you need to get a voucher from Axelos. There will be some cost for it. It varies from day to day depending on the dollar cost. I don't want to talk about cost. The process is that we need to go to this link and give some details like your email ID, your full name, your nationality, and your mother tongue. Some questions that default easily answerable, and there is no prerequisite like you should have some experience, then only you should take. No. Once you book the exam voucher, it is valid for 90 days. When I say 90 days, you can pick up the exam dates anytime after the launch of this. But we usually recommend once you go through this training, it's better to take the exam before 3 to 4 working days. Otherwise, what happens, whatever you learned, you put across to your regular office activities, and what you learned and what you process will have a gap. That's where you try to have a negativity there. So my recommendation to be 3 to 4 days, max to max 1 week if you guys are really busy. Those vouchers will be used as an examination ticket, and exam will be a simple answering questions. When I say simple answering questions, a question followed by 4 options, where you need to choose the best among 4. There is nothing called 1 right, 3 wrong. All 4 looks right. Depending on the environmental queries on the question, we need to choose the best. And your best answer need not to be 100% correct. Sometimes you have an option of 50, 60, 70% correct, and you have a next one is 80% correct. We need to pick up the 80% closer one. So there is nothing called right or wrong. It is all the best. So you have 40 questions asked, 60 minutes the examination time, and you need to hit minimum 65%. That is 26 questions out of 40. And there is nothing called you passed with distinction, first class, second class. No, whether you passed or not, that means did you score more than 27 or not. The person who scored 39 is as same as 27 when it comes to the certification. But minimum 26 questions to be hit. And it's a time process. They are very strict on the time, and it's a closed book. When I say closed book, you cannot be referring any documents, but it's a examination is online. So little lenience here and there is definitely permittable. But yes, that's the examination nature. And please touch base with your HR or your coordinator from Quest or their partners to understand how to procure this ticket and get into this. Good. Next slide.
Wait, please.
Okay.
Yeah, here my question is, what is the difference between your provided link and Udemy?
UDB is a service provider like us, but they will have some LMS structure. When I say LMS, here it will be a live session that I will speak with you. There it's a recorded session. That's the main difference. See, recorded system is good, but it will not be always for your needy. It will be always for the regularized needy. If you have few factors, few important areas, which you cannot be getting extra support there. But here you can stop the trainer, you can question the trainer, you get fulfilled the way how you want. That's how it difference.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, somebody from ISTR Quest wants to talk on this slide, as I am not aware. Probably it's talking about what all the different trainings that they provide.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Dinesh, thank you so much. So for the webinar. So before the question and answer round, this is a slide. This is the current program which we are running. So if anyone is interested, they can just email me and ping me also in Teams. And now we have already shared Google Forms. So whoever is interested for the ITIL training, they can just enter their details through the form, and we'll get back to them by Monday and Tuesday. We'll share the costing detail as well. And as everyone is aware that Quest is giving a 50% scholarship also for the Quest employees.
Wow,
So this is
a good move,
yeah. It's a good initiative from the Quest side as well. So we are so happy to avail the service. Yeah. Yes. So anyone is having any questions, this is the best time to ask. If anything is related to exam, please ask here, because I got lot of message for the exam. So Mr. Dinesh is here. Anyways, he has already explained, but again, if anyone is having any doubt, please ask.
Any kind of questions, not only on the subjects, on your work roles. As one of your friends said, I am from vendor management. How it will help me? It's a very good question to understand, because you need to give 16 hours of his time. So that is where how useful for us also to be understood. People from different streams, if you have any queries, I'll be happy to answer.
Hello, hi sir. Once again, this is Renuka.
Hey, thanks. Yeah.
So this is related with process related questions only. So even though we are we have fulfilled the user's requirement, so they have not yet satisfied. So how could we help? I mean, how can we satisfy the users in this way? I mean, in the other way of by using this ITL.
That's the motto of our service. See, you have different kind of people coming up, and you have different kind of work that you deliver. That is what I use the same logic as a word called expectations. How much ever best you do, customers will not get happy. That's the bottom line. Now the point is, as you asked, how to make more people happy, if not all. The fact remains here is, When I say value is driven to the customer, we need to understand the work, what we have done by us, how it is helping to the customer. Take some small example. For example, in your roles, it would have been happened multiple times. You resolve the issues to the multiple guys in the same pattern. One will come and say, hey, you have done a great job, thank you. The other one will come and say, I'm not happy with your service. But the work culture, what you have done, how much time you have taken, the way how you have done, both remain same. Why they come out with those difference in acceptance is, we need to understand their environments, why he had come, who is he. First, when you're working with the ticket, we need to understand who raised the ticket, what's his designation, how important is this for him, what is the timing. For example, take one small example for your query. It's 1 minute. Please be with me, guys. A password reset ticket. It takes only 5 minutes to resolve technically, as we all know. But it gets categorized as a P4, where your SLA is about 48 hours. Now imagine, even if you complete the ticket in 47 hours, nobody can question you, because that SLA is 48 hours, you can do. But if you take 47 hours for a password reset, whoever at the other end, maybe technical guy, non-technical, is a bottom line guy, high end guy, how he feels. You're making him sit idle for 47 hours. Idle mind is devil's mind. So what I'm trying to tell in this example is, it's not only the time taken technically, it is the time of adoption is very important. When you do these small changes, I will definitely give you many clues when you are there on the session. It will make sure the customers will get additional benefits. Hence, more people come back and say you have done a great job. See, value is equal to is always utility and warranty. Utility means features and functionalities that you deliver. Warranty means the assurance that you give to them towards your availability, your capacity, your continuity. When I say continuity, when in daytime also you do the same work, when you push to the night shift is also you try to do the best to the customer. So these are the few factors will help and make sure, if not 100%, more and more people come back and say you are better. That means your customer satisfaction survey scorings will improve. Did I answer your query?
Yes, sir. Yes, I have noted.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Come up with the new ideas. New things so that we can also ladder up.
Yeah, definitely. See, that's the beauty of these sessions, What we learn and what we share is different. Here you'll have, like you, many people like me, everybody come out with their own questions, their own, logic of understanding and deliverables, where we will share the, even at this point of time, for me, even after completing 400 plus trainings, I'm a learner. Every time I'll get new people, I'll get new queries. That's the way how we'll take it. Oh, okay, great. So last 1 more minute for any of the queries, please, if you have. Otherwise, I'll hand it over to Ritu.
Hello. Yeah, hi Dinesh. Balaji here. Thanks for your time and inputs.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm a sales professional with over 15 years of experience. So will this ITIL certification will help me in any way?
Yeah, if you say self professional, I didn't get you.
Sales professional.
Sales professional. Yeah, definitely. See, sales means there are two segments. One is get the new business, and the second one is how to keep the existing business active. ITIL will stress more on how to keep the existing business active, but we will restrict not talking onto the sales module, how to bring the new business, definitely, because it has got, scope of work, it has got timing, it has got the cost module. These are the things dependents, but definitely we will speak about how to keep the existing customers. That is your relationship management.
Got it.
Hey, good.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I am Madhu here.
Yes.
Yes, I want some clarification. I take care of vendor management.
Okay.
So here, how vendor management helps this ITSM? Because I find a gap where our management also doesn't understand our importance of vendor management, and customer also don't know what I am doing. And ultimately, what work I am doing is, I don't think it is measurable.
Okay.
So I feel that I work separately.
No. You should be with the system. See, doesn't matter, stakeholders knows what work you do or not, but definitely they will be relishing how timely you are doing your service. How you do is your skill. Yeah, that's what I said. As a vendor management, your KPIs are different. How cheap I can bring the product, how fast I can bring the delivery, how perfectly I can get the quality done. These are your KPIs, which will not be spoken in ITSM, but these KPIs, how it will help for the integration of the business, for the service delivery guys, that will definitely matters. Definitely. See, people will not know what work you are doing, but definitely they will be knowing it, how useful you are or not. Are you getting it?
That's the update I didn't get till now.
Oh, then you should involve some process called customer satisfaction. Maybe you need not to go and touch base customers. Maybe your own internal people, like, people from business, people from delivery, people from quality, just send some questionnaire. You ask them, hey, how do you feel my service? Is it good, bad, ugly? If it is good, why? If it is not bad, why? And the questionnaire is also should be very simple as such. Usually we have a 1, 2, 3 rule. When I say 1, 2, 3 rule, hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we adopt a rule called 1, 2, 3. That means maybe input for everybody who wants to have a customer satisfaction service done. 1, 2, 3 rule means you should not ask more than 3 questions. You should not give more than 2 options for each of the question. And the entire time taken for your survey should be as minimum as 1 minute. For example, for your side, I will give you a query. You wanted to understand your vendor management work is adding value to them or not. Hey, how did you felt our way of handling your requirements? Good, bad, ugly, or satisfied, average, not satisfied. And don't ask why there. Next one, second question probably. Any suggestions for us to improve to your requirements? One liner. We don't want history. Let them say, hey, you are doing great job. Let them say, I'm not happy. I don't understand your process. Let them have. But when they score these questions, not limited to getting the survey done, we need to analyze and see. At least of the people who have said good, need not to worry. But people who have come up with recommendations, who have come up with disappointments, you analyze yourself and see what best you can give. I know you are doing your best. You know yourself because you put on your hard work. But if people wants to understand what you are doing, is the only process is to go and take a feedback from them. The ITSM recommended feedback is satisfaction surveys. And another point I wanted to tell you, not to disappoint, whatever work you're doing, if you feel nobody has been observing, no responses, it doesn't mean that they're not counting at you. They're definitely counting at you. Probably your work is as equally as they wanted, hence they have not commented it. Why?
Correct, sir.
The service industry is something like this, a thankless job. Nobody will come and tell you you've done a great job. If somebody is not told anything, that itself great. That's how the industry works. Is that okay?
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the update.
Hey, good. Okay. Ritu or Divya, whoever. Hey,
Hello, sir.
thanks
Yes,
for
yes,
your
sir.
time, guys. So,
Hello, sir.
yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, this side Chandri. Sir, please clear fees and duration and timing of classes.
Fees wise, I don't have an input. Probably it might cost few thousands. Ritu will compare you, and you have a 50% discount. That's a very good thing. And the time is 60 minutes for the exam and 16 hours. That is 2 full days is for the training recommended best practice. And examination duration is 60 minutes, 40 questions. Out of 40 questions, you need to hit 26.
Okay.
And you
Sir,
can take that at any point of time as per you required. Maybe night, evening, morning, working day, holiday, anything is fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
hi everyone. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. So for the training details and costing, that is the reason we have dropped the Google form in chat. We request you to please enter your details so that our team can approach you on Monday and will share the cost of training and the other details also with you separately.
Okay. That's great.
All right. Do we have
Okay.
any other questions?
Good.
Okay.
And another last final point, the silence will not give any answer, especially when you have an interaction on online sessions. Silence give you two options. One is all is well, the other one is nothing is well. So we need to speak out and say, yes, we are happy, or no, we are not happy. Yes. Now the question for me to ask, how did you felt this session, guys?
It's very good.
Yes.
Very good, sir.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, very
Very well, sir.
knowledgeable.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
One
Ritu,
simple thing,
I'll leave it to you.
love your
Yeah.
job instead of loving your company. That's it.
Hey, good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you.
you
It was a
so
lovely
much,
session.
everyone, and
From
thank
my
you,
side.
Mr.
Thank you.
Dinesh.
Thank you for
Thank you,
giving this
guys. Take
opportunity.
care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ritu.
you.
Thanks, Divya.
Thank you. Thank you, Ritu ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Ritu madam, can I have a word with you?
Yeah, sure.